We are live. Underground World News, August 29, 2016. And we're going to go over a few of the headlines, things popping off here right now. I'm going to share some footage here in the end from the area here. Cincinnati just got hit by this massive storm. And B, you got a few things you wanted to start off with here real quick. Want to go ahead and drop that?
Yeah, definitely. What I have right here, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen just to try to make it a little bit easier here, is yesterday we had another false report of an active shooter at LAX. All right, and it's becoming common now. Okay, so we had the mall near Raleigh, North Carolina, then we had JFK, and then we had LAX. 3 in 3 weeks, no shooters, just mass chaos, mass police response, and everything you can think of. National headline media coverage, the whole nine, trending on Twitter. But yesterday, we actually had an active shooter. Now, he didn't hit the mass murder numbers, of course, which that's always key, is the mass murder numbers, but we did have an active shooter nonetheless running around in Solon, Ohio. Now, the story goes, and it's the same story on all local news sources, is that the guy wrecked his Jeep, flipped it over multiple times, and then when he got out of his Jeep, he had an AK-47 slung, and he just started letting her rip. And the woman that ended up getting shot to death was standing basically directly in front of him with her hands up in the air, and, screaming, "Please, no, no, no!" And then he laid her out. He was arrested alive. He gave himself up to, I don't know who he was. The 911 audio is on that video that I put out if anybody wants to check it out later. And you can hear the woman say that some man walked up to him and he put his gun down and laid down on the ground. So now what I'm looking for is to see if this was a CCW guy that came up, or maybe he was out of rounds, or I don't know. But it wasn't a cop that was who got to him first. It was what sounds and appears to be was a citizen. So nevertheless, this we had a real active shooter that did not make headlines. We're talking about a day later that it's hitting basically
maybe that's exactly why, because all too many times everything that they push out there is controlled propaganda. And it just goes to show that most of the things that they show through the mainstream media, that they have a hand in these staged events.
Right. Yeah, and like this woman right here, and this was 32 minutes ago, that this woman described it as a war experience, So this woman was just on her way to work. I guess she worked at like a local, like a Harley Davidson clothing shop / diner, and that she was headed to work, and the guy just lit her up, So I'll drop the link to this article here. Like I said, it's the same article being mimicked everywhere, and so y'all can just check it out. I'll put it in the chat, and then I don't know if you want to paste it into your description box there, D. And then that's all I got on that.
Okay.
Yeah, right now I'm saying that there is an active shooter situation in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. A man shot somebody up inside of a Wawa, left the Wawa, shot up the person's car on the outside, and now they're saying that there's a second shooting scene with another person injured close to the Wawa.
So there's 2 different scenes.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the proximity of this?
Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey.
Okay. Well, so that's ongoing right now.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. I'll look into that some more.
Yeah,
but,
and see if anyone out there can't hop on the scanner feeds and see if they can't pick up any local activity.
Yeah, and I'll even listen in. I'll even listen in too, and if I find some news, I'll shoot it over your guys' way, But thanks for giving me that few minutes to put out that little bit of info on the fake and not fake shootings. And I'm gonna roll. I got a few more things I gotta tidy up around the crib.
All right, I appreciate you dropping in, brother.
All right, D, Eric, much love to you guys and everybody in the chat, man.
Yeah,
Have a
much
good
love.
one. I'm seeing an article right now by 6 ABC News. They're saying that one person was shot at the Wawa, another person was found shot on the Garden State Parkway, which is pretty much like the highway.
Okay, and where's that run to?
The highway? The Garden State Parkway, that runs from North to South Jersey.
Okay. Just trying to get an idea here in my head exactly where that's all at. Okay.
I'll pull up a map for you really quick.
Yeah, if you could pull one up to show people what we're dealing with here. Possible multiple locations at this point from the same shooter. And they're saying just one shooter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me find a Wawa.
Hey guys, I'm going to update here in just a minute with footage of the weather that came through here in the Cincinnati area. Massive flooding once again, like a rain bomb, dropped on this area, and a few other headlines as well.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the Wawa right here on Tilton Avenue. That's where the first scene is. Second scene is right over here near the highway, right inside of this area. Somewhere near here. They're not saying exactly we're on the highway. They're just saying that it's off near the apartment buildings.
Gotcha. Okay. As this person's on foot?
They're not putting on any more info.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe the only details we're going to get out of that at the moment is maybe something off the scanners, unless something else is released, another headline. And I'm sure if Eric sees it, he will update us.
Yeah, I just saw it. It's like right when we went live, so I'm going to do some digging, see what I can find.
All right. Well, just let me know if you come across anything there. I'm going to go ahead and tap into some of these other stories here real quick. We have kind of an odd story here. Some of you guys might have heard of 323 wild reindeer all getting struck by lightning at one time in Norway. Just a massive event, a massive amount of animals to be taken out at once. Anytime something like this happens, you have people speculating if something else happened, but trying to say that it was lightning and there was weather in that area matching what they're trying to claim it was, a lot of lightning, and these herds stick together in packs. So they're saying it was a very good possibility that, but it's one of the largest I've ever seen in terms of herds getting taken out by lightning. But that's what they're saying. Once again, there's links for all this in the description box. Going to move on to the next story here.
Hey, I'm Tabu. Before we switch over, I got an update. State police is saying that there is one that's confirmed dead and there's at least 4 injured inside of the Wawa. And the person that was shot on the highway was on the Garden State Parkway, mile marker 37.9 north.
All right, 37 north.
Yeah, right next to exit 147.
Okay. Is that all the latest details there on that?
That's all I have so far.
All right, just chime back in. You get something else. This next one here is dealing with the FBI, stating that foreign hackers have now penetrated state election systems. And if you read through this article, it kind of, to me, seems like they're once again trying to gear toward blaming Russia. And ultimately, I almost feel like there's something in the air in regards to the election that we're about to see here in this country. And a huge scandal coming of it, and potentially something going on with the electronic ballot boxes and all this other stuff. Something is going to happen, and I think they're prepping everybody. They're planting the seeds for that right now. And they're already trying to blame Russia. So when it does happen, once again, it's going to be Russia they're trying to point the finger at. But something just to keep in mind when it comes to the election, when they're saying hackers have penetrated, I mean, you know, they're rigging this. They're rigging this through and through. I would say at this point, if there was any hackers that had penetrated anything, then what they would have seen is proof that the system's rigged. And maybe releasing that in itself would cause chaos. But to me, if they feel like they're about to get busted here with all this, they're going to have to blame someone. It looks like it's Russia. But interesting read there nonetheless. And in terms of the European country of Germany, and I talked about this before, they put out a warning talking about people should stock up on food, water, medicine, and have a plan. And then Czechoslovakia came out and said the same thing. And there's this feeling in the air of something may happen. Well, now Germany's saying that they're looking for militants, Islamist militants that have infiltrated the ranks of their German army. This is what they're saying. It's me, knowing what we know, knowing who's funded, trained, all the militants, ISIL, all that thus far, then they would be doing the same with this individual. He would be like an operative that has been specially trained and sent up in there, and it's all by the same hands. They're controlling both sides of all the wars. They're sending our troops into harm's way to battle against the boogeyman that they created as well. And once everyone sees this, the curtain falls. But they're saying, and I think as the curtain starts to fall, they're reaching and grabbing for plan B, you know, C, D, E, F. Let's not forget in Germany, they backed out of that stadium event at the last minute, a copycat event of what we saw at the stadium in France, almost identical with the president at the stadium, and then Merkel was at the stadium, and then completely backed out. But Germany's been in the crosshairs. They've allowed this migrant invasion to come right on through, and it would be of no surprise if this has happened because they let it happen at this point. Once again, a link in the description box. Here's another one here on Puerto Rico's collapse, foreshadowing a total U.S. collapse. And it's interesting because, you know, how it sits and what Puerto Rico is, you know, with the United States. Why is it? Well, Puerto Rico's pension fund is underfunded by $43 billion, which is on top of $70 billion in various forms of government debt that's out there as well. But what's happening here is to bail out Puerto Rico, they are taking our tax dollars, okay? And the mainstream is never going to mention this. They're taking our tax dollars, making it solvent and paying out the pension beneficiaries. And they're doing this on our money, but they're not telling any of you this, you see, to save it. Now, in Illinois alone, the pension funds in Illinois are underfunded by, they say, $111 billion. And this is all based on real estate, junk bonds, private equity investments, things like that. That you put everything together, they're talking, this is more like $200 billion, and that's just Illinois. Okay? They say that if you were to do a rigorous mark-to-market assessment of the state pension funds in California, Texas, New Jersey, New York, and Florida, that's not even including Illinois. You're talking that these are all underfunded by over $1 trillion. So what's happening right now is people's pensions and everything else are getting jacked. You may have seen on Twitter or on social media out there a little image going around, a guy wearing a shirt that says, "Keep your hands off my pension." And it's because these people are out there fighting for it, that they're getting robbed of it right now. And the mainstream media is not talking about it at all. Okay, that's why we do what we do here. On to the next one. This is an interesting article in terms of science, saying how people can read minds. And they say that this is possible by a study done looking into the mind in how things interact with memory, and how someone doing something could have a memory just by watching someone else do it. It will fire off the same cylinders in the mind. And there's a mirror of that. And it's pretty interesting in terms of science. What they're saying here is people are basically being able to pick on people's thought patterns, their conscious minds connecting with others. And pretty good read there. Next one is talking here about Erdogan. We were talking about this before we went live in Turkey. And once again, this is involving Germany and Merkel in this deal. But you have to pay attention here. He can open the floodgates, literally. And that's what they're warning here, is that if this whole thing doesn't go down the way that they had planned it, that his way of firing back is to unleash millions of asylum seekers on Europe, to kick every last one of them out of the country, force them out into any given direction. And, Syria is already war-torn at this point. But, when it comes to Turkey, Turkey has some history, man. That's where they found the throne of Zeus, Pergamon. And the Germans took it out of there, and all the other ancient history that lies there. Not to mention that Turkey is unique in a sense that it's always vibing with quakes lit up all over it, smaller quakes like all over the place. But something to pay attention to in terms of Turkey, and they're saying that all-out war is going on in Turkey and this and that. If a coup really goes down and, this man feels he's going to lose power, then yeah, they will do anything and everything, last-ditch attempts to get that power. Now, talking about power, many of you guys had witnessed what just happened here in Louisiana, the massive flooding that they're still dealing with down there, trying to rescue people, animals. I mean, it's just a mess down there. And would you believe it, that all these people are showing up down there with their own boats, trying to rescue and help in any way they can, and they're getting in trouble for it. Okay, they're being told that things have to be a certain way, and this should make people sick, mass amounts of food and water are showing up, and the mainstream media is not going to ever say anything about this either, because it shows the corruption. Massive amounts of food and water have been delivered by many, many different groups of people that care from across this country, but the Red Cross came in. They took over the shelters that were set up, even the ones that were set up by the people in the area. They took over those shelters. And when all that food and water was delivered and dropped off, they let it set and go to waste. And when people were outraged, like, why is this happening? They said, because it's not on contract. Can you believe that? Because it's not on contract. That's how sick this game is. I think every one of you would give someone a water or a meal if you could, if they needed it. And that's the idea here. But the government doesn't want the people helping the people. You see? They don't want you to be self-reliant. They want to serve as the heroes. You see? And then they can't even do that. So Louisiana dealing with its own, problems down there. We've seen freakish weather all over the place. We still got Gaston out there in the Atlantic. We've got another storm system, number 8, that they had labeled off the coast of the Carolinas. It's going to clip the coast right off of North Carolina. Then we have number 9, which should be a tropical depression at this point. I think they said here within 24 hours, it should be labeled I'm pretty sure they said a tropical storm or depression, whichever one of the two. One they've been waiting for. It's not a hurricane yet. It doesn't look like it's going to hit that level, but it's definitely going to dump copious amounts of water all over southern Florida, and it looks like it's going to bow back in to the panhandle of Florida. So those areas need to keep an eye out for that storm coming through there. And anything can happen, you know. They could hit one of these things and it could fire right up over the Gulf, and it could become a hurricane. Then what? It wouldn't surprise me at this point. The reason I say that is because of the flooding we've seen from West Virginia, Baltimore, Louisiana, Missouri just got hit. And then just last night, my own backyard here in Cincinnati, massive flooding as well. Now, I want to share with you guys here some images real quick. Get this screen share up. You see that? Eric, can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. What you're looking at here is we've got, this is on 71 in Cincinnati. It's completely flooded out underneath this bypass, and it just brought traffic to a standstill. Now I'm going to scroll down here and play some video clips too. You see all that just absolutely inundated in water. And I could tell when I stepped outside, I was like, man, this isn't right. This is coming down like torrential. Like, I mean, I've seen some storms, but this one just kept going and going. And look at that. It just sat there. As I was telling Eric earlier, and B, when we looked at Louisiana and Baton Rouge, it looked like from the power plants, these plumes were feeding, like the geoengineering, almost like cloud seeding. It's feeding the atmosphere, and it just grew. And what was crazy is these plumes were timed at the same time. That's where we knew it was controlled. Okay. Now, I didn't get a chance to see that or pick that up on the radar here in Cincinnati, but the system did the same thing. It just sat here, sat there and grew and grew and grew and just hovered over the tri-state. And what it did is the same thing it did in Baltimore. It hit all these rolling hills type of areas, and just all that water came rushing down, and it couldn't, all these places could not handle it. Let me show you some more here. There's another car stranded there. There's a vehicle also stuck.
Have they released how many inches fell yesterday?
I don't have an exact number on that yet. Look at that. I mean, you know, you've seen quite a bit of rain when places start looking like this that don't normally expect flooding. I mean, imagine if this was your backyard. You don't expect flooding, and then all of a sudden it looks like this. People are scratching their head like, what is going on? Start talking about these rain bombs, these weather bombs, and we know what's happening. It's not a secret anymore. You know, 5 years ago, we were talking about chemtrails. They were calling us, crazy conspiracy theorists. Now they admit they're real. So look at that. I mean, other cars over here on the right, and just anything low-lying really got swallowed up by this water because it had nowhere to go. Try to run some more footage here real quick. You can see it rushing down the steps there. This is at Zimmer College in Cincinnati. And I was hoping the footage would continue there. See if dude made it, but he didn't hear inside of Zimmer. This is inside the school. People are just like, what is going on? Like, it's this bad. It's raining this hard. Really? You know, like, and that's kind of how I felt when I stepped outside. I was like, man, Yeah, when you're inside of a building and you see this happening, you think that the bathroom just flooded over or something, but no, man, it's just in here. We'll keep going. You can see the power that it had too, hitting these cars. Look, it just
It's like a
turns the road
river
into a
just.
river.
It's like a river just collapsed and all the water just went everywhere. Like a river levee system just collapsed.
Yeah, I mean, it is like the road becomes a river in this instance. So we've seen this now in multiple cities. And the way that I've been seeing it, these storms are really flashy with flash lightning, a lot of flashy flash lightning, and thunderous and almost blinding. Once they start dropping rain and they come through, it's like you can't see far at all. I could make out the line in the sky yesterday. I could tell where the edge of it was because I could see other clouds and sky, and then the rest of it was just like a blob. You couldn't see anything, and that was the storm.
Just to let you know, the National Weather Service is saying that the Cincinnati area had 0.82 inches of rain.
Well, yeah, right.
Like, I'm literally reading this off of bizjournals.com.
I mean, you're looking at the photos.
Exactly. That's what I'm sitting here laughing about this right here.
Ball field covered. I mean, that's obviously hasn't been updated, or maybe they're trying to take total for the whole area. I don't know. This doesn't make no sense.
Or maybe they really don't know.
Well, I'd say at this point they probably don't. There's some more footage here. Once again, you can see just somebody gets out of a car in a situation like this. I mean, you can get swept away in a current like this in the streets. If you're on foot. So,
when you finish with that article, let me know. I got a video to play.
Okay, what's it about?
It's more flooding that's inside of the Tri area.
Wow, look at that. I mean, looks like a car landed in a swimming pool or something there on the right. Like, it's just, man. Look at that. I mean, people haven't experienced this around here. I mean, yeah, there's been flooding in the past, but usually has to do with the Licking or the Ohio, the contributaries running off of it, not just down people's streets. And I have a link in the description box. You guys can check out all this stuff. But play one more here. Wow, look at that sim. Look at his car stuck. I can't believe that truck on the backside's going through it. Oh, he's going to get stuck. He is. He's done. The bigger truck's going around him. It looks like the black one's engine died. I hadn't seen that yet. Wow, man. This looks like a complete pond down there, man. I've been through these areas, man. You'd never think. Anyway, that's a look there. Massive flooding here in the area. You wanted to run something there real quick, Eric?
Yeah, it's like a 30-second clip.
All right, go for it.
Well, 33 to be exact.
Go for it.
All right. Can you hear my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's Kentucky. Crescent Springs. So yeah, that shows it, man.
Yeah, they're saying that the hardest hit neighborhoods had between 2 to 4.4 inches of rain.
It had what? Hey, Eric, I think I accidentally muted you. I'm trying to unmute you. So you may have to hit the unmute button. It's not letting me. If I did that.
Right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. The Fox 19 is saying that the storm had the hardest hit neighborhoods with 2 to 4.4 inches of rain, which to me still seems really low.
It does seem low, but that's more, it sounds better than the 0.8 that they were reporting.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a look at some of the latest events going down here. I'm also going to be uploading footage after this Underground World News live stream of some suspicious vehicles. Some are, I don't know what they're calling them. They're like mutant response. It's what they have on them, and it looks similar to the biohazard trucks I had seen a couple weeks ago. People were taking pictures of. But someone caught this, and they caught it moving in a convoy with some other semis, and it was interesting because there were some very interesting logos, Muslim logos on the semis that it was traveling with. You just have to see, and I'm going to show that in another video where I can show the footage in better clarity than here on the live stream. And then I also have footage of military on the move that, and this is, keep your eyes open for this one, because I want people to let me know. We've all seen the military activity across the country. We've seen the trains. We've seen driving down the road or the highways, this and that. But what we're seeing now is military moving down roadways manned with guys in the gun turrets, guys in the back, 2 men in each vehicle, sitting up top like they're ready for action, and they're prowling around in suburbs. And then they're going up onto the highways, jumping off different exits. And I've got footage of this. And people that are seeing it are like, what the hell is going on? Is this a drill? Or, I mean, what's really happening? I mean, there's people that seen and are used to seeing some of the military stuff going on. And this is in California, by the way. But they're saying that this is different. Like, and I'm going to cover it in another video, so make sure you keep your eyes open for it. You got any other updates, Eric, before we jump off here?
I don't have any updates to that right now. They're not releasing anything. It's supposed to be a press conference happening in about a half hour from now. But I do have one quick story.
Okay.
Virginia Tech received dozens of emails threatening violence to the campus. I got to do a screenshot right now of one of the emails that was sent.
In regards to, I mean, just no demands or anything, or?
No, just violence. Like this one says, I am here to inform that in the next couple of days, I will break into the campus and will kill as many people as I can until the police arrives.
You know what kills me is you know they've got the technology of track all this stuff. So in all reality, they know who posted that. They know where the computer is, the IP address. They know what living room this guy's sitting in.
Exactly.
So why not have got him and arrested him and shown that along with, but that's not happening. You see, but this is exactly how they operate. They foil their own plots. We've talked about it time and time again. And they've admitted it. So yeah, it's as far as false flag events, I think we're due for another one. It seems just like we're overdue. I mean, at the rate they've been going, the shootings and everything, I would, the target states, they've been hitting Texas, Cali. Could switch it. Oh, have we seen Florida pulled into the crosshairs? Maybe Arizona. But weather, whole different animal here. Everybody just keep your eyes peeled in terms of weather, because these storms seem to be creeping up out of nowhere with no warning, dropping all this rain at one time, and it's causing a lot of problems. And lucky a lot of people haven't been killed in a lot of this flash flooding.
Also, to add to what you were just saying about that, we're kind of long due for possible false flag. This year is the 15th year anniversary of 9/11.
A good update, and we are coming up on that date, so something to pay attention to. I will be going live, even though we're going to be on Casey's channel for Underground World News this Friday, the regular time. I'm going to be going live probably after that or before that sometime. I'll update and let everybody know. And I may be going live whenever. There's a bunch of stories going on here. Dozens of different stories to touch on. Try to go live and get all this information out there best we can to you guys in one video in a timely manner. But before we go, I got to give a shout out to everybody that tunes in. Everybody shows us love. For 700 and some people right now tuned in. Appreciate that. And much love to everyone out there that believes in us and that sends prayers our way. I'm serious. Those that keep us in their mind and think good thoughts and keep that energy flowing toward us. It's appreciated more than you know. Everyone that's helped and donated to the Kickstarter campaign, everyone that's sharing the links out there on social media, man, it's appreciated to the fullest. I'm telling you, it can't like words can't express the thanks for some of you guys out there. We just had, I think, our biggest donation yet just this past week for $2,500. I don't know if you want a verbal shout out here at this point, but you know who you are, and much love. It's appreciated. We now sit at 6,800 of the 30,000 goal. We've got 11 days left, and we're still going strong, man. This is all we can do is put it out there, and keep on spreading the message. And I want to thank everyone that participates in that. It means more than you know. Because literally this can be game-changing if we can achieve this in 11 days. Serious. You will see this taken to a whole different level if we can do it. And we're not just going to give up if we can't achieve it. We're just going to try to find different ways to keep on trucking. But this would definitely help us in getting gear, passports, to go ahead and knock out a whole list of events that we can say that we definitely can cover, get people there. We were talking about NY, me and Eric here recently, just getting there. Hotels already booked on those dates and everything else, and trying to come up with a plan. And we got all these things in motion, and you never know what could happen at any given time with these storm systems and everything coming through. If a hurricane does come through, or another false flag, or anything, we need to be prepared. And it's what that's all about. So, yeah, much love again to everybody out there that has had our back throughout this. I tell you what, I don't forget everybody that sticks by my side through all the bullshit, all the haters out there, everyone that can actually stand with you through it all, until the smoke settles. I see you. And much love to you. And that's even to the crew here. Appreciate what you guys do. And Be Rich, these guys got something going on Saturday nights with the after hours. And then Eric's got his Sunday Truth Lounge, 1:30, I believe, right?
It's 1:30 on Sundays, and we're planning on doing shows every Wednesday and possibly even Mondays.
Okay. Well, there you guys go.
Eric's taking over over the net.
I love, man. Sometimes if you can get the information out there and provide good a good stream of information, get it out there, and you can do it live. Do it.
Especially so we don't have to. Especially so those that watch us don't have to sit there and watch the mainstream media to get all the information. They can just see us and
True.
others that are live streaming.
Very true. Very true. So yeah, guys, links in the description box for everything we talked about here. And much love to everybody out there. Once again, I'll hop over here to the chat and shout outs to Glory, Leah, Sin, Lit Paul, Songbird, and I'm sorry, all right, for you grammar Nazis if I don't get everything right and pronounce everything right, all right? Ecryptic, Kim, Michelle, whom it may, Moses, Jim Martin, One Foot on the Beach, Michael Grace, MR, Paul Panda, Kart Racer, Mike Morales, much love, brother. Paul Panda, Glory, Ian, Kurt, Lee Breezy, Indigo, Simon, Lone Wolf, Kenneth, Pink Fox, Sir Evo, Hawaii something, Lone Wolf, MR, I'm sorry, it was moving quick on me, Mr. Tommy Boy, Mike Hurdle, Josie Wales, what's up? Remnant Uprising, Political Prisoner, Nash Rooney, Karen, Davey, Nige, K Small, and shout-outs to all the mods. Exhale, Frank, Luke, Joyce, DJ, Nate, Scott, Pink, JK, Papa, 49, Jackie, Sarah, Jamie, Ashley, Hewing, much love, Luke, Paul, all y'all. Hey, you driver, I see you. Respect back at you, Pete, Susan, Karen, all y'all. Much love. Y'all want to say anything? Any shout-outs here?
I was just going to chime in and let quick update on the mutant trucks that you were talking about.
Yeah, go for it.
I did a report on them a couple weeks ago when they first started popping out all over the place.
Right.
There is a dozen of them. The group is called Pathogen Trackers, but it's all for show. There's a lot of rumor that they're for movies and this and that, but no, the Pathogen Trackers is just a goofy way of they go to things like the Burning Man festival, and that's where they're headed right now. Those trucks are retrofitted for cooking, showers, sanitary, so all these people at these like Burning Mans that are just out there in the desert getting all sweaty and gross and nasty, and it's for them to come in there and get their feet washed and eat some food. So keep I found a whole diagram of how the inside of those trucks were. They were for hospitals. They were like mobile mega ambulances that were never used, and they were able to buy them real cheap and convert them. So that's what they are. I don't know about the trucks that are traveling with them.
Well, that's good. That's good updated information. Yeah, I didn't know about them neither. I mean, but they had some semis there with it in the parking lot that were with the convoy, and they'd followed them and everything, and it was pretty interesting. The image of a dude with swords and all that on the side of the one. I believe that's what it was. That just made you wonder, but yeah, now that got that information, that's a good update. And you guys make note of that. So yeah, we're gonna shut it down here. Yes, sure. To the end. This is Illuminati. Much love.